What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and what you are witnessing is live. This is the House of Representatives preparing to vote on the stimulus reconciliation bill, and this is your stimulus and infrastructure bill update. Now, that's right, we're hearing, take a look, you guys, articles coming out like this. Infrastructure spending bills could see House vote Friday as Democrats push ahead. Separate votes on spending bill and infrastructure package come after months of negotiations between centrists and liberals, and we're hearing today, finally, is the day the House of Representatives will be voting on the stimulus reconciliation bill. Now, take a look, you guys. House is poised to vote on the spending plan, but hurdles remain. And they're talking about Senator Joe Manchin, who we have heard is still in opposition to this, saying he wants more time. But we heard yesterday Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi say full speed ahead. And what they're hoping is to pass this through the House. It will then go on to the Senate, where there will be amendments made by anybody who has opposition to the current state of the bill, and then it will be sent back to the House of Representatives once again for a vote on the modified version. But they want to progress this forward. And you guys, another article we're going to be looking at in more detail on the votes that's going to be happening today. House Dems gear up to vote on Biden's agenda. And we see Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, as she said yesterday, she wanted to see a vote happen, but they're going to be doing it today. So you guys, let's dive right in, get you caught up as to what we can expect to see unfold today with a vote finally on the stimulus reconciliation and infrastructure bills. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash the like button. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Just takes a second. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on, and I know there's a lot. Doing about 2 or 3 uploads per day. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me. I go through all my DMs, and if you got any specific questions you want answered, I'll do my best to help you out. But with that being said, you guys, let's take a look at this article and get you caught up on the latest happening today in the House, voting on stimulus, November 5th, 2021. All right, you guys, so first up, link in the description below to this article that just came out late last night that reads, House Dems gear up to vote on Biden's agenda. Now, the article says House Democrats will vote on President Biden's sweeping social spending and infrastructure bills that have a combined price tag of nearly $3 trillion. And that's going to be 1.2 for the infrastructure bill for roads, bridges, highways, traditional infrastructure, and 1.75 for the social spending bill or the human infrastructure bill, aka stimulus provisions and money for people, in what will be the biggest day of Biden's presidency so far. And we heard yesterday Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi say this would be the most monumentous moment for her and Congress and President Joe Biden's administration passing through these bills. Now, lawmakers will gavel back into session at 8 a.m. So as you saw live, they are currently in session after the House scrapped votes late Thursday when they struggled to iron out a handful of sticking points ranging from language on immigration reform to provisions related to state and local tax, aka SALT deductions. Now, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi had told members that she wanted to see a vote on both bills on Thursday, yesterday, after weeks of struggling to rally the entire caucus around both measures. Pelosi and her whip team worked furiously to get support from hesitant moderates who expressed reservations over the lack of scoring from the Congressional Budget Office, climate language, and immigration. They're also contending with the probability that the measure will be heavily amended in the upper chamber due to centrist Senator Joe Manchin voicing opposition to a number of provisions included in the House bill. And we actually heard Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi mention this yesterday, saying she was well aware of the fact that it's likely going to get amended significantly in the Senate, and it will come back to the House, but they're saying, you know what, we still just want to progress forward, so let's just move forward on voting in the House. Now, the decision to bring the bills to the floor comes in the wake of Democrats having endured an electoral train wreck in multiple state races on Tuesday, as we saw Virginia and New Jersey, with leaders and top White House officials arguing it is necessary to act on delivering on their agenda ahead of the 2022 midterms, where they face an uphill battle to retain control of the lower chamber. And we had actually heard President Joe Biden pleading with Democrats, saying, please, I need this, you guys. pass something, because right now we're in full control of Congress, the Senate, the House, the presidency. And if we don't get something done, historically, what we have seen is when one party is in full control of Congress, if things don't get passed and done, in the next elections, it will flip to the other party. And right now, the 2022 midterm elections are just coming up. And if they don't get this passed, it will flip to the Republican side, is what we're hearing. Now, President Biden made calls to several vulnerable members who were not fully on board with the bill in an attempt to sway their support, a senior Democratic aide with knowledge confirmed to the Post. Now, Pelosi opted to shift strategies after multiple unsuccessful attempts, and we've seen 3 attempts from her so far that have all failed in passing the bipartisan infrastructure bill, with progressives asserting that the 2 bills should be brought to the floor within the same time frame, fearing that they would lose their leverage on the larger stimulus reconciliation package. Now, despite pushback from moderates on multiple provisions, Pelosi called on her chamber to include language to provide paid family leave and medical leave, a sticking point for Manchin. And as we saw just in the past 48 hours, there have been new provisions added back into the stimulus package. This is in an attempt to ramp up pressure on Senate Democrats as they look to pass the measure using the reconciliation package along party lines. Now, last-minute changes were made also to the SALT provisions, with the cap increasing to $10,000 to $80,000 through 2030 before returning to $10,000 in 2031. Now, 11th hour changes were also made after negotiators struck a deal on drug pricing to provide an extra year. And I shared that with you as soon as it came out from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, moving it from 12 years to 13 years before Manchin is permitted to negotiate prices on biologics. Now, the whip count on the reconciliation bill remains unclear, but leaders have repeatedly asserted in the past that they will not bring either measure to the floor without votes needed to pass. AKA, what that means is right now, with this hitting the House floor, they believe that they have the votes to pass this through, and it will likely get passed in the House of Representatives today. So you guys, this is major breaking news coming out right now. This is huge. This means that after all of this time, they're finally going to be passing this through in the House of Representatives. It will move on to the Senate, likely get amended, go back to the House, and then they will pass through the final version, and we will see the stimulus reconciliation and infrastructure bills pass into law, and those provisions will be released to help out with our country and our people. So you guys, there's going to be a lot of news coming out. I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash the like button. Just takes a second. It helps me out a ton. Leave your comments, share this out, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to stay up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. There is going to be a lot going on, you guys, but I will keep you up to date, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.